For today's panel, we're going to be focusing on women in leadership. And I'm joined here with some very special women. We actually got together last night to get to know each other better and had a multitude of topics. And these are three amazing women, CEOs and presidents of some companies that are very well known and recognized. I'd like to introduce to you Gail Boudreaux, CEO of Anthem Incorporated. If you'll raise your hand, right here. Barbara. We've also got Barbara Humpton, CEO of Siemens USA, and of course our New Mexico. And from New Mexico, Pat Vincent-Colon, who's the CEO from PNM Resources. Please help me welcome them. Now, some people might start off this panel by saying, what challenges have you encountered because you're a woman, CEO, president of a large company? But we're not going to do that. We talked a lot last night on how would we do this? And what I want them to do is first introduce themselves, give a little bit of background about themselves and what they do in their companies. And I'll start with you.
Sure. Well, thanks, Governor, and it's absolutely a pleasure to be here. As you heard in the brief introduction, I'm the CEO of Anthem. Anthem is a diversified health services company that serves about 40 million individuals across the whole spectrum of the benefits industry, from Medicare, Medicaid, and the commercial business. I've spent my entire career in the industry, very passionate about how we can make healthcare better in this country, and that's really what drives me. On a personal note, I'm an avid sports fan, played basketball growing up. Teamwork was a huge part of my sort of philosophy, and it's something that I think is really important. And I have two sons, and my husband is right now digging dinosaurs in Montana. So we have a wonderful family, and that's sort of binds us together, and a son who's playing basketball this year at Purdue.
Good. Barbara Humpton. Fantastic, thank you. Barbara Humpton, I'm privileged to serve as the CEO of Siemens USA. And you may know Siemens as a 170-year-old company that's been dealing with the mega trends of the world from its start. And with the rise of communication, the first industrial revolution, and here we are at the brink of the fourth industrial revolution. So Siemens in the US has 50,000 employees. We're in all 50 states. We have 60 manufacturing, research, and digitalization centers across those states. And what we're working on is everything from the transformation that's happening in energy to the needs of healthcare for the future to the needs of infrastructure. And all of those have been a huge focus for us. Big question, what is the role of a conglomerate these days? That's what we're grappling with at Siemens. And what we've discovered is that we're able to take advantage of the expertise of people with deep technical knowledge across the corporation. But what we need in leadership is people who can connect the dots, people who can communicate, people who drive teamwork. So my start was in Lexington, Virginia, a small college town, Washington and Lee and VMI, and everyone in town was exposed to all kinds of liberal arts things. And in fact, one of the key themes was you have to really be accountable and you have to be proactive. Because frankly, if we want to field a team, we need people in town to get onto those teams. If we want an orchestra, we need somebody to play French horn. And they didn't actually need me on the basketball team, Gail, but that was the whole spirit. And it turns out that that's what we'll talk about, I think, a little bit more, is unleashing the talent of the communities in which we live and work. Thank you.
Thank you. And Pat?
Well, Governor, thank you so much. I'm Pat Vincent-Colon, and I'm privileged to be here. This is my home state, and this is my governor, so I'm just doubly delighted to be here. As the governor said, I'm chairman and CEO of PNM Resources, and we are the primary utility in the state of New Mexico. We serve about half of the customers in New Mexico, and then we serve in Texas, right around Houston. We serve the booming Permian Basin, and then north of Dallas. So we're in 2 states. We are privileged to be leading the clean energy revolution. We are, with the governor's help, transitioning out of our coal here in New Mexico, and we are moving to wind and solar and natural gas. We are blessed in this state to have an abundance of resources: wind, solar, natural gas, and oil. But I think the thing that I most like to emphasize when I talk about our business is the utility industry is 5% of the nation's GDP when you look at us and all of the jobs we create. And if you think about that, we like to say we're the first 5% of GDP. Because if you didn't have us, you wouldn't have anything else. You wouldn't have those iPads, we wouldn't have all this, and you all travel. So you know what it is like to be in a country that has reliable, affordable, safe, and increasingly clean electricity and natural gas. So we are very privileged in this country, and one of the things as we move forward, we all know we're competing with Google and Apple and all the cool places to work, but if you think about it, we enable all of that stuff. The people that come to our industry come because, like many of you, they have a sense of public service. Our utility's name is New Mexico Public Service because of that. And so we're sort of leading that transition, and we're looking forward to continuing to do so and work with our partners.
Thank you, Pat. Appreciate it. As you can see, we have very powerful, strong, accomplished women on the stage with me, but often you'll get asked or complimented, or there's a statement made of, oh, how cool, you're a woman and you're a CEO. What does that feel like? What is that question to you when it's asked of you or the statement is made? How they point out that you are a woman as though that's something unusual to then be the CEO as well.
Governor, I was very lucky. My father was in the military, and my father never graduated from high school. So he enlisted in the military in World War II, and he always treated us like we could do everything. And quite frankly, it wasn't until I got to college that I realized there were certain things I wasn't supposed to do because I was a girl. And so I just kind of never let it get in the way. And I remember one time somebody came to my office and first met me, and she goes, "Oh, wow. You're younger than I thought you would be, and you're actually attractive. I thought you would be old and fat." So sometimes it's more women that say things to you than men. But I really was blessed in my upbringing in terms of just not letting it be an issue. But I have to say, I do look forward to the day where we don't have any more firsts. Yeah, where you were the first Latina governor, I was the first chairman of the Edison Electric Institute. I look forward to the day where that's just all normal.
Okay. Yeah, so I would add, similarly, I started in my introduction around teams, and I grew up with a similar sort of attitude, and it really started from competitive sports. I love competitive sports, and that's really where it's about performance. And I've always viewed that it's really not about what you look like, but it's about your performance. It's about your ability and your performance. And I have a saying that I use very often with our employees across our company: there's always another move. That's another thing I think you believe, or that you learn very strongly when you learn how to compete, that you're always thinking about how do you improve your personal performance, how do you improve the performance of people around you. And what matters, and we were sharing a story last night, I had an older brother growing up and really mostly played sports with his friends. And they really didn't care that I was a girl. They cared that I could catch, I could throw, and if I couldn't, then I got subbed out. So it was really pretty clear, and so my philosophy is about, really we all need to lean in to what is our ability and performance, and I agree with you. I think it will be a great day when we're not talking about the first, but we're talking about ability, performance, focus, accountability, passion for what you do. And so as I get that question, and I do get that question quite a bit, it really is a really